Hello ladies and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we have the top 10 best first cars for less than $2,000. This is part, I think, 12. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's 12 of a multi-part series that we do at the end of every year. I know it's the start of 2024, and so you're probably like, what? That makes no sense. I misjudged the amount of time it would take me to make these videos. I'm sorry, but this is for 2023. But this is what we do is we start with 25K, then we go 20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Obviously today is under 2K, so we're very close to the end. We only have this video and one more video to do. But in all those videos, there's no duplicates of cars. That way you have tons of cars to choose from no matter what. My GoPro died there, but that was pretty much all I had to say anyway. But song of the day is Hollywood Undead, How We Roll. I used to listen to this band all the time in high school, and then I stopped because they didn't come out with anything like new and exciting, and I was just like, psh. But this song still is pretty good. Okay, it's a rock and roll song, kind of like rock and roll / rap music. It's kind of like a weird mixture of them, so it's definitely not for everybody. You know, not a lot of people are gonna like this song, but I do. Okay, so here it is. But without further ado, let's go right into the list with number 10. And number 10 is going to the wonderful Hyundai Tiburon. What? A Tiburon on a cheap cars list? Is this 2024? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, partner. It's still 2024. I like to talk about cars like this. And on top of that, under 2K, you really don't have many options, if I'm being 100% crystal clear with you. And if you want a sports car or something that's at least a little cool, a Tiburon's a good option. They come with a 2-liter inline-4, making 138 horsepower in their front-wheel drive. Obviously, their power is a little lower than you would probably want for a car, but you have a $2,000 budget, so do not expect to have a race car at that price point. A Tiburon is honestly not the best car out there. They don't get a lot of love for a reason, but at the same time, dude, if you just want something that looks decent and it looks different from the rest, like want to stand out, a Tiburon is a good option for you. 9th place is going to a car that I talk about all the time, but its older brother, actually, because I always talk about the 3rd generation. It's the Acura TL 2nd generation. Again, I always talk about the 3rd gen. It's in like every one of my cheap car videos, and it always will be in one of my cheap car videos until they're not cheap anymore, because they are just that good. But the 2nd gen is still really good. They come with a 2.5 liter inline 5, making 176 horsepower in their front wheel drive. Yes, I know it's a really weird motor. That's what it says, man. Like, I can't confirm nor deny that statement. I think it's true. And 176 horsepower is actually pretty decent for this list. Like, that's not that bad. Now the car is a little bit on the heavier side for a Honda or Acura, whatever you want to call them. They're heavier for sure, but you're not really buying an Acura TL to go fast anyway. You're kind of just buying it for a good combo of like a fun daily driver. Speaking of cars that you're not really buying to go fast in the first place, but just kind of buying it to just have a cool looking daily driver that will get the job done. Number 8 is a Scion TC 1st generation. Now the 2nd gen is honestly getting cheap too, not under 2K for sure. They're still like around $5,000, but they're both such good cars. Yes, they come with a Camry motor, but it's a Camry motor, okay? It's reliable. It comes with a 2.4 liter inline 4, making 160 horsepower in their front wheel drive. These motors are not good for building power, okay? I'm going to be 100% honest with you, but the Scion TC is a lightweight car, so even if you do get a little bit more oomph under that hood, you're gonna notice it at least because it's light. And on top of that, that's not why you buy a Scion TC, man. You're buying a Scion TC because it looks decent. Okay, you're gonna look cool while having a nice daily driver that you don't have to worry about breaking down. And if it does break down, you could buy a whole engine for this thing for a crisp high 5 and maybe you know, a little slap on the butt cheeks. 7th place, this is obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a trend you're going to notice here, because a lot of these cars are going to be lightweight cars that make low horsepower that the rest of the community doesn't appreciate. Because 7th is the Mazda Protege. The Mazda Protege used to be actually pretty cool. I feel like when this car came out, people wanted them because they were pretty different. You know, it was a very small car. These Mazda Proteges are way more small than they look in a video, dude. See one in real life. And they came with a 2-liter inline 4, making 130 horsepower in their front wheel drive. That horsepower number is insanely low, but the car also, again, weighs very, very small amounts of weight. Now, it isn't actually the most reliable car out there. I wish I could say it is. The Scion TC and the Acura TL before this were definitely more reliable choices. The Protege, Mazda just has never really been known for their reliability. They really haven't. And the Protege is no exception for that. But at the same time, you don't really need that in a Protege because it's a fun little car. This car makes up for its reliability loss with its fun gain. But you know what car is just a combination of both of those, the Volkswagen Jetta Mark III. You could also find Mark IV Jettas under 2K nowadays. You could probably even find a Mark V Jetta under 2K if you really cared enough to look for it. But the Mark III is the one I'm going with because I never get to talk about the Mark III, and since it's a video where I do get to talk about the Mark III, I'm talking about it, baby. It comes with a ton of different motor options, but the one I'm going to be talking about is a 2.8 liter V6 making 172 horsepower in their front wheel drive. Now that is the VR6 model, so that one might not be under 2K. Realistically, you're going to get either the base model inline 4 or a diesel one. If you can get the diesel one, go for that one. Dude, diesel Jettas, they last as long as they don't rust out. That's literally it. Like, if the motor, you never have to worry about. You never have to worry about that. It's insane. Oh, goodness. I kind of want a diesel Jetta, if I'm being honest. 5th place is going to a car you guys probably thought wasn't under 2K, but I found some. I found some on the old Facebook of marketplaces, and they're under 2K, man. It's the Mercedes E320 W124. The W124 Mercedes is actually like an enthusiast car. Like, people like the W124 in the world nowadays, and for good reason. They're good little, like, cheap drift cars. They come with a 3.2 liter inline 6, making 220 horsepower in their rear wheel drive. That's good. That is a good horsepower number for under $2,000. 220 horsepower is good. Now, are they the most reliable car out there? No, but they're also not as unreliable as you would think. Like, yes, they're a Mercedes, but they're a base model 90s Mercedes, so they're a lot more reliable than, like, Mercedes nowadays, for example. And 220 horsepower makes up for that, man. It's 220 horsepower for $2,000. How could you? And it's rear-wheel drive. There's, like, no rear-wheel drive cars on this list. There's two rear-wheel drive cars on this list, and this is one of them. 4th place is going to, like, kind of the opposite of the Mercedes that we just talked about. It's the Honda Fit 2nd generation. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy, Mark Rodent, who is this guy? Telling me to buy a Honda Fit? For what? Dude, if you hate the Honda Fit, I hate you. Okay, they're a decent car. They come with a 1.5 liter inline 4, making 117 horsepower in their front wheel drive. Are they fast? Let's dissect that a little bit. No, they're not. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and try and convince you that a Honda Fit is like a good little race car. They're not. But they're fun. They're fun little cars, man. And they are still a Honda. So if you do want to build this thing up and make it something that's at least enjoyable to drive, again, I'm not going to call it a race car, but something that's enjoyable to drive, you definitely can. And for pretty cheap as well. And on top of that, the whole time you're doing it, it'll be reliable and cheap on gas. 3rd place is a car that I constantly recommend in videos under 5K, and it's here in the under 2K video because that's how slept on they are. It's the Subaru Forester 1st or 2nd generation. The SF and the SG are both good options. Now, it's harder to find an SG under 2K, but they're getting there. The SF, however, is under 2K all day long, and they both come with the same motor. It's a 2.5 liter flat 4, making 165 horsepower in their all-wheel drive. Every early 2000s Subaru that wasn't like a sports model of it came with these motors, these 2.5 liter flat 4s. And so if they did that, they're probably pretty good, right? Well, kind of. If you want to boost these motors, you're looking at head gasket issues all day long, partner, because that's kind of what they're known for. But just don't boost them and you're fine. And now this car can go off-road. It can be fun to drive. If you really wanted to, you could swap it to rear-wheel drive and turn it into a drift little wagon thing. That would be insane. But I'm not telling you to do that. But you could go off-road with these things and have a good, not like a good looking, because honestly, not a lot of people like the looks of Foresters, but a cool daily driver. 2nd place is the only other car on this list that's a rear-wheel drive, fun, enthusiast car, in my opinion. It's the Lexus GS300. Yes, you can find GS300s under 2K. The reason why is because people just kind of sleep on them. They have cars like the IS300 and SC300 for drifting, and they're just better options for that because the GS300 is just so heavy and they only come with an auto. But if you do, they come with the same motor, a 3 liter inline 6 making 225 horsepower, and they are rear wheel drive. That motor is a 2JZ. Now, is it the GTE? No. Is the GS300 just a good like race car in general out of the gate? No, not at all. It's an automatic boat with a 200 horsepower motor under the hood. Like, it's really not that great, but there's so much potential there for under $2,000 that it's an insane deal. And honestly, even though it is automatic and it's a boat, you still can have fun with it even if it is stock. Honorable mention, because we always do an honorable mention for one of these videos, because I like to talk about trucks and SUVs in some of my cheap car videos, but I don't want to make people mad that I have a truck in a car spot. So it's a Honda CR-V second generation, which comes with a 2.4 liter inline 4, making 160 horsepower, and it is 4-wheel drive. Now this is the K series, so you can get some decent power out of these things if you really care about that, but it's a CR-V, so most likely you're probably just going to use this as like a little daily driver. And if you do, well, it's a fun, reliable, not the best looking out there daily driver. But first place is a car that I just made an entire deep dive on, an entire video all about because of how much I love it. It's the Honda Accord 7th generation. The 7th gen Honda Accords they look weird, so like people don't like them. I think they look okay, like pretty good actually, I'm gonna be honest, but a lot of other people think that they don't look that good. So because of that, they're cheap as hell. They come with a 2.4 liter inline 4, making 160 horsepower, and it's front wheel drive. That is the same motor that was in the Honda CR-V that we just talked about, a K series. In a Honda Accord, that's a lot better because now the car's a lot lighter and lower to the ground, and so putting power mods on it actually increases its performance. The CR-V would increase the performance too, but not as much because it's an SUV. But the Accord 7th gen is just so good for its price. It's under $2,000, and you get a Honda that's reliable as hell with a K series under the hood, so it can be fun as hell too if you want to. It's just so good. And again, the looks can be divisive for sure, but I think it looks pretty good. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the top 10 best sports cars for less than $2,000. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Next video I think is probably going to be like just a fun video, like probably something like silly, I don't know, something that's not that serious. I don't know what to do. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Oh, deep dives. Let me know what other cars you want to see for deep dives. Let me know if I should do good, bad, and uglies again. Let me know what other cars you want to see for like how to modify, because I like to do the how to modify series. I like doing that. It's fun. So let me know what you want to see for those too. Just let me know. Just let me know what you guys want to see for videos. I really appreciate recommendations. It goes a long way. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.